Okay, so this is part 2 of developing your first Web3 application. We installed our ReactJS server. We tested our ReactJS server. Now we can say for sure that we're ready to install all dependencies. And when I say dependencies, I mean all of the utilities that we need in order for us to communicate to a blockchain. So we have the front end. We have the ReactJS server built. However, we need some utilities and some libraries that will allow us to communicate to the blockchain. Either Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, any Ethereum-based layer 1, layer 2 blockchain, we can communicate as long as we have the proper libraries installed. How do we install libraries in ReactJS? There is something that we are going to be using a lot, and please make sure that you become very familiar with it. It's called No Package Manager, or NPM. There is a website called npmjs.com in which we search and we find the command to invoke on our web server so that it can download and install the dependencies, okay? So let's go ahead and start working with those dependencies. As I start installing each one, I will be explaining what is each dependency for. What's the purpose of installing each dependency, so we all familiar with what it is, okay? So let's go ahead and start, okay? Okay, so we got our first Web3 application, as we saw in video number 1. We deployed ReactJS. If you haven't seen the entire video, I suggest you go back so you get familiar with the ReactJS install. But now we got to the point that we have a fully functional ReactJS server. Now it's time to go ahead and install dependencies, okay? So as I mentioned previously, we're gonna go to npmjs.com, okay? This is where we search for any package that we need in order for us to build our ReactJS application, because this is part of Node.js, okay? First things first, we need Web3.js. What is Web3.js? Web3.js is the package, it's the library that we need to perform an interface to a blockchain, or in this case, to communicate to a blockchain by invoking the connect handler for Web3. So what does that mean? It means that we can create a code, or we can script a code that will basically tell the browser, hey, open a session to a Web3 wallet and talk to the Web3 wallet, or interface to the Web3 wallet. The moment we're connected to a Web3 wallet, we're effectively interacting with a blockchain, because the wallet will be attached or will be connected to a blockchain, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's install Web3.js. That's the first one. Okay. So we just need to find the Web3 connect handler. Okay. So in this case, we just need to have Web3, and we are going to install the Web3 package, right? So we install npm. I means install, and then Web3. Okay. So we just select this. It has been copied to the clipboard. Now let's go on to my PowerShell, or in this case, your shell, and you just need to paste the command and it will install. I will strongly recommend to stop the web server. Control C, let's terminate the server so that we can install the dependency. Okay, so make sure that you're installing it onto the working folder, okay? Okay, let me go ahead and copy. Right click. The I means install. So we're just gonna invoke that. And it's gonna pull the npm repository and get the files and install that on our web server, okay? Once this is done, we will install the next dependency. Okay, so the Web3 package has been installed. Now we need to install ethers. What is ethers? It allows us to communicate to a smart contract, an Ethereum-based smart contract. It's a library that will allow our Web3 application used on ReactJS to communicate to an Ethereum-based smart contract. Remember, Web3 allows us to interface with a browser-based wallet. Okay, make sure, just like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, those are Web3 wallets. Okay, if Ethers, the package Ethers, will allow the ReactJS web server to communicate and interface with a smart contract on the blockchain. Okay, so I need to first establish a connection using a Web3 connect handler. Once I perform that, then I can invoke Ethereum commands. So I can do read or write commands. Anything that is available on the ABI, and I will explain what an ABI is. Basically, the ABI will be the connect interface on the contract. It includes all the functions available in the smart contract. So I am telling the web server, hey, this is the list of functions that you can invoke with your Ethers JS, right? So when we code an Ethers JS, we need to invoke those commands, but the web server needs to know what commands are available on the smart contract. And when you deploy the smart contract, you extract the ABI, and you're going to see that in our next video, which basically tells the web server what commands do I have available for use, okay? Or what functions do I have available at my disposal, okay? So let's go ahead and again, let's find the web ethers.js. Let's go ahead and type here, ethers, right? And we got the full-blown Ethers package, basically the Ethers project. We just click it once, we got copy to the clipboard, right-click, enter, and we're now installing the Ethers package. Once this is done, we'll install one last package that we need. Okay, and the package has been done. One last thing that we need to install, and this is some styling. Because by default, the ReactJS web server doesn't have too much styling going on. So you want to make sure that the interface is pretty and it's eye candy, because we want the users to adopt the platform. So we have to make it eye candy, visually attractive. For that, there's a lot of web libraries or CSS libraries. CSS is basically a styling function inside HTML that we can use to either change background colors, change fonts. It's basically how we do that nice graphical appearance to the website. In this case, I am going to invoke Bootstrap React. With Bootstrap, there's a set of libraries already predefined that we can just call as we code on the web server and pull those styles and objects, like let's say buttons or stuff like that. I can make them visually appealing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Go back. Let's go ahead and type Bootstrap React. Okay, and this is the one. Okay, we're gonna search and React Bootstrap one. You know what? I'm going to find. We'll go make sure that we're getting the right library. Okay, Bootstrap React, and this is the React Bootstrap. Getting started, and there we go. This is the right command. Okay, so let's grab that, copy, and let me go here. Right click, paste, and now we're installing the React Bootstrap onto our React web server. Once this is done, then we can validate that we have the libraries installed by simply executing some commands. Okay, and it has installed. Oh, that was quick. Okay, cool. Now that we have React Bootstrap, I can invoke the library, right, or the module. This is basically called a node module. For ReactJS, we had node modules. The Web3, that's a node module, and the Bootstrap React is another node module, as well as Ether. How do we know that we got them installed? We can go onto the working folder, we expand all modules, and this is where we have all those tools. And you can see Ethereum, and we should have some Web3 handler. We can find it right here, but it should be on this list. We should see the Web3 and all that. Okay, there we go. We got Web3 here. Awesome. And finally, we should have Bootstrap. So let's take a look at Bootstrap. There we go. So we got it. Okay, so we know that it's installed. Okay, so you can follow the Bootstrap if you want to know more about styling on Bootstrap. Go into the React Bootstrap page, and then you already have predefined configs that you can copy and paste and give it a shot. Okay. So in this case, let's import a button, right? So what we're going to do, we are going to invoke React Bootstrap, and we're just going to call the button function inside React Bootstrap, right? What we can do. So you can see right now, this is how the React app looks like. Let's add a button and see how that goes, okay? So let me go ahead and do this. I am going to just type, let me type it without, and you're gonna see something. I'm just gonna make a button without Bootstrap, so you can see the difference, okay? And we're just gonna say the name of this button is mint. Let's say we're gonna build a mint button. Let's build a mint button. Okay. So this is, if you see here, lowercase button, you know, lowercase b, the word button calls the classic or the default button in React.js without any styling. Okay. So we're gonna save it, and now we have to run the web server because we stopped the web server. npm run start. We're waiting for that to boot up. Once this is boot up, we'll continue so we can see how the button looks like. Okay. Okay, so it looks like our web server is active, and you can see that button shows here line 38 button. It's defined but never used. That means that we did call the button function for Bootstrap, but we haven't used it, and that will give us that. It will trigger that warning. Basically, we're not using it. Okay, but let's see how does this button look like without any styling from Bootstrap. We're just using the default one. Okay, so let me go ahead and open now the site, localhost, and there you go. And you can see the mint button. So that was the mint button that we created, but you can see there's no styling to it. So let's change that. Let's use now Bootstrap, now that we have Bootstrap installed, and let's add some styling so it looks visually appealing. Okay, so let's go ahead. And the only thing that I have to do, if you can see here, import button, I just need to make it uppercase, and it will call this particular module or function inside the module. So what I just need to do is make this capital B, and you can see this will turn on. Okay, so I'm just gonna uppercase, and now it's using button. Here we go. So it has turned on the button, but now it was grayed out. Now it's light blue, meaning that I'm actually using it. Okay. Let me save it, and let's see how it looks now. And I realized that there's one thing that I still need to import, and this is the styling for Bootstrap. I did import the button, but nothing changed. The reason why nothing changed is because I haven't imported the styling for Bootstrap. If you go to their website, there is a style sheet, predefined style sheet. We just need to copy this line, right? Let's go back to our editor. Let's go ahead and paste it here. Okay, let's go ahead and Control S, and that will save it. And let's see how it looks. There you go. You see now the difference is now we're using the Bootstrap styling inside React.js. So we are actually using a better styling template than the default React.js. So it looks more visually appealing. So now we know that we have fully working web server with even the Bootstrap attached to it. Okay. Now we have everything ready to go, so we can go ahead and deploy our first Web3 app with all the node modules that we just installed. Okay, so with that said, on our next video, we are going to build a very nice graphical, visually appealing dashboard so users can mint their own NFTs. That's going to be very good. We're going to do that, and we're going to take advantage of Web3, ethers.js, and Bootstrap for some nice visually appealing dashboard. And we're just going to make a very nice dashboard so users are more, so it's more visually appealing for our end users. Okay, so that's all we want. Okay, so stick around, hit the subscribe button, like and thumbs up if you like my content, and stick around for the next video. Bye.